When 12-year-old Emma buys a simple Christmas gift for her hard-working mom, she believes it's the most she can do to show her love. But her quiet act of sacrifice catches the attention of an unexpected stranger, Elon Musk, whose arrival turns an ordinary Christmas into a life-changing moment. As Emma's small gesture of kindness unfolds into something extraordinary, her family's struggles and hopes collide in the most unimaginable way. The twist that follows is both heartwarming and unforgettable, leaving a lesson on the true spirit of giving. This is a Christmas story you won't want to miss. But before we dive in, leave a comment and let us know where you are watching from today. And if this story speaks to you, hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories. The winter air was sharp and crisp as snowflakes drifted gently to the ground, blanketing the small town of Ashbrook in soft white. Christmas lights twinkled in windows, and cheerful carols played faintly from passing cars. But for young Emma Taylor, the holiday magic felt distant this year. At just 12 years old, Emma had already learned the weight of sacrifice. Her mother, Sarah, worked 2 jobs to keep a roof over their heads and food on the table. Since Emma's father had passed away 2 years ago, every day had been a struggle, but Sarah always managed to keep hope alive for her daughter. This Christmas, Emma was determined to give her mom something special, something that would make her smile, even if just for a moment. While her friends wrote lists for expensive gadgets and toys, Emma had saved every penny she could from odd jobs, shoveling driveways, walking dogs, and helping neighbors with errands. She carried a crumpled $20 bill in her pocket, her heart set on buying her mom a beautiful bracelet she'd seen in the window of Miller's General Store. On Christmas Eve, Emma bundled up in her oversized coat, her boots crunching through the fresh snow as she made her way to the little shop on Main Street. The store was decorated in bright red and green, the smell of cinnamon and pine hanging in the air. The bracelet, delicate and elegant, with a small blue charm, was displayed on a small rack near the front. Emma ran her fingers over the bracelet and smiled. "This is perfect," she whispered to herself. She took the bracelet to the counter, where Mr. Miller, the elderly shopkeeper, greeted her with a kind smile. "Buying something special today, Emma?" She nodded proudly. "It's for my mom. She works so hard, and I want her to have something nice." Mr. Miller's eyes softened as he rang up the bracelet. "That's a lovely thought, Emma." Emma reached into her coat pocket and carefully handed him the $20 bill she had been saving for months. He took it, his hands rough and weathered, and handed her a small paper bag with the bracelet folded neatly inside. "Merry Christmas, Emma." "Merry Christmas, Mr. Miller," she called as she left the store, her cheeks flushed from the cold and excitement. Emma walked down the quiet street, the bag clutched tightly in her hands. As she passed by a shiny black car parked on the curb, she barely noticed the man standing nearby, wearing a long coat and a simple scarf. He looked out of place in their humble town, but his presence didn't concern her. She was focused on getting home to wrap her mom's gift. The man turned as she walked by and smiled. "Merry Christmas, young lady," he said warmly. Emma paused, startled. She looked up at the man, and something about him seemed familiar. His face, his confident presence, though she couldn't quite place it. "Merry Christmas," she replied shyly. The man glanced down at the bag in her hands. "That must be a very special gift you're carrying." "It is," Emma said, her voice quiet but firm. "It's for my mom. She deserves something nice." The man tilted his head, genuinely interested. "What makes you say that?" Emma hesitated, unsure why she was opening up to a stranger. "She works really hard. She does everything for me, and I just want to do something for her." The man's expression softened, a flicker of something, recognition, admiration, passing through his eyes. "That's very thoughtful of you. Not many people understand what it means to give from the heart." Emma smiled faintly. "It's just a bracelet, but I think she'll like it." Before the man could reply, his phone rang, and he stepped away to answer it. Emma took the opportunity to hurry home, her heart full of pride as she thought of her mom's face when she opened the gift. The next morning, Emma woke up to the sound of the wind howling against the windows. She climbed out of bed and tiptoed into the living room, where their small Christmas tree, decorated with homemade ornaments, stood proudly in the corner. Sarah was already awake, sitting on the worn couch with a steaming mug of tea. "Merry Christmas, Mom," Emma said, her voice bright. Sarah looked up and smiled, though the lines of exhaustion on her face were hard to miss. Merry Christmas, sweetheart. Emma rushed over to the tree and grabbed the small package she had carefully wrapped the night before. This is for you. Sarah looked surprised. For me. Emma nodded eagerly. Open it. Sarah unwrapped the gift, her hands trembling slightly as she pulled out the delicate bracelet. Her eyes widened, and her lips quivered as she held it up. Emma. It's beautiful. I saved up for it, Emma said proudly. I wanted you to have something special. Tears filled Sarah's eyes as she slipped the bracelet onto her wrist. You didn't have to do this, baby. I wanted to, Emma said, hugging her tightly. You deserve it, Mom. Their quiet moment was interrupted by a loud knock at the door. Sarah looked puzzled as she stood up, adjusting the scarf around her shoulders. Who could that be? Emma watched as her mom opened the door, revealing the man Emma had seen the day before, the one with the long coat and kind smile. Behind him, 2 black SUVs were parked on the street, their engines idling. Good morning, the man said politely. You must be Sarah. Sarah blinked, clearly confused. Yes. Can I help you? The man smiled. My name is Elon Musk. I believe I met your daughter yesterday. Sarah's jaw dropped. Elon Musk? The billionaire. Emma's eyes went wide as she recognized the name. Suddenly, the man's familiar face made sense. Elon Musk stood in their doorway, looking as calm and approachable as he had the day before. I'm sorry to show up unannounced, Elon continued, but your daughter's story moved me. I've met a lot of people, but very few understand the true spirit of giving like she does. Sarah glanced at Emma, who stared in shock. I don't understand, Sarah stammered. Elon gestured toward the SUVs. May I come in? I'd like to explain. Minutes later, Elon Musk sat in their small living room, his towering presence somehow fitting comfortably within the humble space. Sarah and Emma listened in disbelief as Elon explained how he had been passing through Ashbrook on his way to a nearby project site when he noticed Emma outside the store. Most kids would be thinking about what they want for Christmas, Elon said, looking at Emma with admiration. But Emma was only thinking about you. That kind of love is rare, and it's something the world could use more of. Sarah wiped at her tears, speechless. Elon smiled. I'd like to help. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out an envelope. Handing it to Sarah, he said, This is for you both. Consider it a Christmas gift. Sarah opened the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was a check, large enough to pay off their debts, cover Emma's future college tuition, and give Sarah the freedom to stop working 2 jobs. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, Elon replied softly. This isn't charity, it's a thank you. A thank you for raising a daughter who understands that the greatest gifts come from the heart. Emma, tears streaming down her face, looked up at Elon. Thank you, Mr. Musk. Elon smiled. No, Emma. Thank you for reminding me what Christmas is all about. Over the next few months, Sarah and Emma's lives changed in ways they never thought possible. Sarah was able to leave one of her jobs and focus on spending more time with Emma. She also started taking classes to pursue a career she had once dreamed of before life got in the way. As for Emma, her story inspired countless others. News outlets picked up the tale of the little girl who bought her mom a bracelet, only to have her selflessness noticed by one of the world's richest men. But despite the attention, Emma remained the same humble, loving daughter she had always been. One evening, as Sarah placed the bracelet around her wrist, she looked at Emma and smiled. You know, I don't think that bracelet will ever stop being my favorite gift. Emma grinned. Because it's from me? Sarah shook her head. Because it's a reminder that even in the hardest times, love always finds a way. Outside, snow began to fall again, blanketing the little town in white. And in their warm, cozy home, a mother and daughter sat together, grateful for the kindness of strangers, the power of love, and the magic of a Christmas they would never forget.